A mortuary worker who pleaded guilty to burglarizing the home of a dead man was in court today for sentencing. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
And I'm Marcella Lee. This case is a strange one. Sammy Gates was caught on surveillance video stealing from the home after the body had been picked up. Gates used a gurney to haul the loot and drove away in a van used to carry bodies. As News 8's David Goffredson reports, Gates may not have to serve any more time in jail. David?
Caught on surveillance video in 2020, Sammy Gates can be seen using his mortuary gurney and van to remove valuables from the Spring Valley home of a recently deceased 60-year-old man. The body had already been removed from the home, but Gates showed up later using inside information as a mortuary transportation driver. He entered the home and loaded up the victim's safe, firearm, and a valuable coin collection. Gates recently pleaded guilty to grand theft.
We will never be able to recoup the financial losses this man has caused our family.
In El Cajon court on Friday, the prosecutor read a statement from the deceased man's brother.
Sammy Gates has proven to lack ethical and moral behavior. His action of burglarizing homes of immediately deceased people are nothing less than despicable actions of a human being.
Gates had a prior felony strike on his record, but his defense attorney successfully argued that that strike should be thrown out because the conviction was 17 years old, meaning Gates is now eligible for probation.
Through COVID, he's made every court appearance. He met with probation on a timely manner. He's been in court every time early. He's been polite and respectful to the court.
When officers served a search warrant on Gates' home, they found stolen property from other houses as well, including more than a dozen guns, collectible coins, and $80,000 in pawn shop receipts, according to the prosecutor.
This is his full-time job, stealing from people who had recently been deceased and pawning the belongings away.
Gates is out on bail right now. His sentencing hearing was continued to October 22nd. He is considering, the judge that is considering making Gates wear a GPS tracking device on his ankle during part of his probation term. Carlo?
Strange crime, David. Now, did Gates have anything to say in court to the victims of this crime?
His attorney said Gates wanted to apologize to the family of the deceased in court in person, but because of COVID, the family was not there in court today, but that could happen later on at the October sentencing hearing.
All right, David Goffredson reporting live. Thanks, David.
Plans to build a fence along the Del Mar Bluffs are moving forward, but a lot of people aren't happy about it.
People who live in the area say a fence will block their access to the beach. But the North County Transit District says it's too dangerous for beachgoers to just keep crossing the railroad tracks. News 8's Heather Hope has more on the plan and the opposition to it.
Yes, longtime Del Mar residents are fired up. They say they don't want any type of fencing of any kind in their area to block off their beach access or block their views. But the North County Transit District says this is purely a safety issue.
They want to decapitate that entire bluff down to track level. That is a travesty. They want to turn Del Mar into an industrial zone.
Residents are upset that plans from the North County Transit District to add fencing along the Del Mar Bluffs are moving forward.
We need to respect it and take care of it.
Longtime Del Mar residents stood strong, holding up "Don't Fence Us Out" signs, saying a fence will drastically impact tourism.
That's a lot of money. That's going to block a lot of tourism here. Fences, don't boost tourism, right?
Since the mid-1990s, the North County Transit District says it and the city of Del Mar have had ongoing discussions about railroad trespassing and the need to create safe and legal access along the railway on the Del Mar Bluffs. They report 4 people have died there since 2016. Still, locals love to cross the tracks.
A lot of people use this access for a quick way to go down to 11th Street to go surfing.
The residents say the tracks have been a prime pathway since the late 1800s.
People have been crossing the tracks here every day for over 100 years.
The group of neighbors created their own website, delmarbluff.com, in an effort to stop the fencing project. In a statement, the North County Transit District writes it continues to work with the City of Del Mar and the California Coastal Commission on developing a solution for the railway along the Del Mar Bluffs that promotes rail safety, ensures reliability, and provides safe access. Sunshine Carr says she's lived in Del Mar all her life and says the Bluff area is to be sacred and not fenced in.
We have a voice. You know, it's not just some airy-fairy, hippy-dippy thing.
Despite safety risks, residents want the area to remain the way it is.
This is not going to last forever. We really need to preserve it.
Well, according to the North County Transit District's website, already drafts are underway. Then come by the end of the year, that's when a final agreement is to be reached on the fencing project. Then summer 2022, that is when final presentations will already take place. Heather Hope, News 8.
Thank you, Heather. The Department of Homeland Security is extending the non-essential travel restrictions with Canada and Mexico until September 21st. It's blaming the spread of the Delta variant. Restrictions don't apply to cross-border trade, U.S. citizens and lawful permanent residents, and people traveling for medical purposes or to attend school. On the flip side, as of last week, fully vaccinated U.S. citizens and permanent residents in the U.S. are allowed to travel into Canada.
They say breast cancer doesn't discriminate, and now no one knows that better than California Assemblywoman Lorena Gonzalez.
She announced her diagnosis on Twitter a few weeks ago, and today she sat down with News 8's Kirsten Holmes to talk about it.
Kirsten joins us now live in studio with more. Kirsten, I know she's staying positive and strong. What's her message to others?
You know, when I spoke to Assemblymember Gonzalez about her cancer diagnosis and treatment, she not only conveyed the severity of her situation, but she was also incredibly encouraged that she will be okay. And it's all thanks to early detection.
In the next few weeks, when they line up a operating room, I will be going in for either a single mastectomy or a double mastectomy. We should know in the next few days. I've breastfed my kids. They're older, but it's still very personal.
It's been about a month since California Assemblywoman Lorena Gonzalez found out that she has breast cancer. She and her husband, County Supervisor Nathan Fletcher, share 5 kids. She says she has all the support that she could ever dream.
He's been able to make every one of my doctor's appointments and follow-up exams, MRIs, you name it. He's driven me to every one. My 25-year-old remembers her grandma and remembers her grandma dying of this. Having to talk through it is tough at different ages. Even discussing body parts and explaining what needs to be done is it's tough. I'm a hands-on mom. I cook and take care of everybody. In fact, I usually cook before I go to Sacramento, leave it in the fridge or the freezer. And I told them I'm gonna need a little bit of help for a few weeks after the surgery.
And when she's on the other side of her battle, she says she plans on leading the fight for others to have the same access to care she has.
What is the point of a screening exam if you think you can't afford the treatment? And we need to make sure that everybody can afford being treated. I know there's so many people in my community in South San Diego and in Chula Vista and National City that don't have the kind of health care I have, that don't have those advantages. And that's something we're going to be looking at over the next few years. Post-diagnosis, you can get on Medi-Cal, but the tests that come within the screening and diagnosis aren't free.
And her message to every woman: get your mammogram.
It's going to be tough. It's a major surgery. I'm losing body parts. There's all kinds of stuff going on, but I'm going to be okay. I'm going to live. And that's only because of early detection. And it's only because I got that mammogram.
Gonzalez's cancer is stage 0, which is still really early, but doctors say it's aggressive and hormone positive. Gonzalez says she plans on being open and transparent about her treatment in an effort to help raise awareness. Also, we have an update on this story for you. She tweeted out just a few minutes ago this afternoon that her latest scans show no sign of the cancer spreading. Marcella, you and I were talking about this. We're thinking that means that she may only have to have a single mastectomy.
Right.
But we'll wait for her to update us.
Yeah, it was so great when we saw her tweet that out, that it didn't spread to her other breast. And Kirsten, I know Assemblymember Gonzalez is just beginning this fight, but she is already trying to make a difference in other people's lives.
That's right. She wants everyone to know that early detection is the key to saving her life. And she is, again, encouraging everyone to get their mammograms starting at the age of 40, and maybe even earlier than that if you have family history.
A lot of people put off those regular screenings during the pandemic, so now's the time to go in and get that done if you haven't. Thanks so much, Kirsten.
Welcome.
For the first time in 2 years, a special class of veterans was able to walk the stage into new careers today in Barrio Logan.
64 graduates, to be exact, all with new skills and manufacturing jobs thanks to workshops for warriors. It says it is the only nonprofit school in America that places veterans and service members into manufacturing jobs nationwide.
You are given so much, you know, and so again, just Workshops for Warriors, it really displays their heart for the military and how much they care for them.
Workshop for Warriors says there are currently 720,000 unfilled manufacturing jobs in the country, and say these latest graduates will start work as early as next week because there is a demand.